This just in, cats that glow and fight off AIDS. Before we get too excited, let's take a closer look. We're here with Dr. Beckman, who will shed some light on the subject, no pun intended.
Hi, Hannah. It's great to be here. How are you?
I'm great and happy to have you on the show. I've heard a lot about your research, but I'm not quite sure I understand it all. And I know our viewers would love to hear about it.
Well, I'd be more than happy to explain anything you're unsure about.
Okay, awesome. Let's get started. First of all, how is it even possible to have a cat that glows green?
Well, our team of genetic engineers has used restriction enzymes to cut out the gene trimsep that is originally from monkeys and the gene GFP, which is originally from jellyfish. We then use an enzyme called ligase, which helps us glue this gene back into the DNA of an adult cat's donor eggs, so that then these eggs contain the gene. This is called recombinant DNA.
You lost me at trimsep and GFP. What do these genes do?
Well, trimsep is a gene that monkeys use to fight off infections and defend against AIDS. By inserting this gene into cats with feline immune deficiency virus, otherwise known as FIV, the cats are then able to fight off infections that they wouldn't otherwise be able to fight off. The cats that have this gene then produce certain proteins known as restriction factors that defend against the virus because they are unable to do it on their own.
That sounds really beneficial, but what does this have to do with cats glowing?
Well, that's where the gene GFP comes in. This gene, although it does not help us fight against AIDS, we use to monitor our research. Basically, by linking this gene to the...
What do you mean by linking?
Well, what I mean by linking is we put the gene for trimsep next to the gene GFP, and they are transcribed at the same time, and both proteins are produced at the same time. So because of this, we are able to see what cats are expressing the genes. In other words, if the cat glows, it's also fighting off against AIDS.
Wow, is this experiment successful?
Yes, the white blood cells that we took from these cats were protected from FIV. And after we tested the white blood cells, we injected the cats with the FIV virus to see how their immune system would react, and they were able to successfully produce the proteins necessary to fight off infections.
So you gave these cats an autoimmune deficiency virus without knowing the treatment would be successful?
Yes, at the time we did take that risk, but we were willing to, knowing that this research will eventually lead to cures for HIV and ultimately AIDS in humans.
Finding a cure for AIDS using this technique would be amazing. Thank you so much for being on our show.
It's been a pleasure.